school year started off here at James Madison?
Generally well. And we had 2 great move-in days. The weather was wonderful, so that always helps. And had a great turnout of frogs and other groups that assisted folks moving in, so I think that helped a great deal. It appears that schedules have matched up pretty well, and students were able to get courses that they needed, so haven't heard about any problems there. And we won a good ball game Saturday, so that was nice as well.
Okay. Any one memory so far that's kind of stood out?
Well, in terms of events, I think clearly last year with the centennial, having Archbishop Tutu here was a pretty exciting program for the university and the local community. So certainly those things were key achievements, and completing the first capital campaign. We had a $50 million goal and raised $70 million, so I think anybody would figure 140% increase was a success.
Sticking with money then, how worried are you right now about the state budget problems?
Well, I'm very worried about it. It's not likely, I don't think, that we're going to experience significant cuts in this year, but it's difficult to predict what will happen for next year. And I think, as you all know, we have been asked to develop 5, 10, and 15% reduction plans for the next period and the next 2 years. And it's always difficult to do because if you get into the 10 and 15% range, then it's difficult to make those adjustments without affecting people, because people make up 82% of our education general budget. So that's where the money is. At 5%, I think we can manage it without having much impact on people, but it gets tougher with the higher numbers. The 15% cut is a little over $11 million for us in 1 year. So you can imagine it's going to be difficult to manage. Hopefully we won't have to do that.
We know in a couple weeks the Board of Visitors will talk about the master plan and stuff like that. Is it likely that these budget problems are going to affect that, and have you guys had to start rethinking things because of this?
If the numbers are in the 10 and 15% range, it may have some impact, but in Virginia, as in most states, capital budgets and operating budgets are separate entities and tend not to affect one another, except that you have to have operating money to operate the facilities that you open. So if you are building a performing arts center, you may have all the money that's required to build the building, but if you're in tough times, you don't have the money to operate the building, then you clearly have a problem.
And how does the 6-year plan compare to other endeavors you've undertaken as president? And do you ever look at a thing like this as something that might define your time as president?
Well, the 6-year plan is really a fairly new task. We haven't had to do, the state hasn't required it for very long. Personally, I think it's a great idea because you don't operate organizations on the scale of a JMU or a UVA or a Virginia Tech on a 2-year basis. We're always planning much further out than 2 years. And so to try to link enrollments and facility plans and operating plans all together makes a lot of sense, and to do it over a longer period of time. It remains to be seen if the state can really make the adjustment from operating on a biennial cycle, a 2-year cycle, and really use the 6-year plans. And of course, in the last 4 years, we've had 2 sets of budget cuts. And so it'd be better to be trying to implement a plan like that when you had some revenue and you could really do a better job of linking what's available and what you would want to accomplish. But I think it's a good idea.
Just one more thing. As a fan of the Dukes, how do you think this game Saturday is going to kind of compare to other big games that have happened on this campus while you've been here?
I don't know that there has been a game that's as big as this one on campus. There's certainly been some exciting games. I don't remember what year it was now, but when we won the CAA, maybe '99, and beat Richmond here, that was a huge victory. But I don't think there's been anything like this where you're playing the #1 team, especially when we should have beaten them last year. So I think everybody, I don't think there'll be any problem with Mickey getting players up for this game. I don't think that's going to be an issue. I think they're pretty hungry, and I think our fans are really looking forward to it. But like Mickey, I was a little more concerned about UMass on Saturday, and that is a conference game after all, so
Yeah.
it's the one that really is the more important of the two. But it'd be nice for our fans if we could beat App State as well.